We're ready to go, absolutely. Most of the guys have been playing cricket, Shield cricket, one-day cricket for a period of time now, so they're all, cricket fit, ready to go. It's just bringing a new group of people together and getting them on the same page and letting them go perform.
Speaking of new people, I think the Duckett was one of the imports. He hasn't even met his teammates yet.
No. I've only spoken to him on the phone, and so we can't get him into Queensland just yet. So our first game's in Canberra, and he's going to meet everyone 24 hours before the game.
It's going to be interesting, isn't it, for team cohesion?
Yeah, it is, and that's not ideal. The good thing is Majib's in the same boat. He's down in Sydney as well. We're sending Darren down to work with those boys this week, so at least there's some, representation from the Heat working with the guys, and probably more just to make them feel welcome and part of the group, and get them prepped, ready to play.
Tom Abel in the England Lions group, so he'll be sort of joining again after that sort of commitment's finished, when they finish, I suppose.
Yeah, well, Tom's been in Queensland, in Brisbane for a period of time, and again, we haven't had a chance to actually cross paths with him at this point in time. So he'll be another one that'll probably come out of the Lions setup straight into our team almost after their match against the Aussie A, and he'll be meeting players for the first time as well. So yeah, it is an interesting situation for us.
Mate, you're now in charge. Jimmy's skipper. It's a changing of the guard in a way, but will we see a change in the way that the Heat play and go about things?
Look, the Heat had a very good season last year. They actually, back end of the season, were really quite good in their focus and what they were achieving out on the paddock. So there were so many good things from last year that we just want to keep that ticking along. I don't want to, we're not reinventing the game. We're not reinventing the process. The players are just going to be very adaptable in what we're doing to get us possibly one or two more wins along the way than what they did last year. So we're not asking them to change too much.
Wade, is the whole, last year there was X factors, there was sort of a whole range of different rules came into the game. How do you have you had time to think about how best to do that again this time around? Or?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. A couple of those rule changes. I mean, obviously we sort of worked through it last year. The team worked through it. As a punter sitting on the couch at home, I sort of tried to work through it myself, sort of what was the best tactical decisions to make. So, yeah, look, I think we're across that. I think 12 months or a season into the competition, teams are going to understand how best to use their X factor or what best suits them to use a power surge along the way. So I think we're becoming better at it.
Yes.
Speaking of X factor, how's X?
Yeah. He is the X factor, isn't he? Yeah. Good. He's coming back nicely. Played club cricket on the weekend, so he'll be available for us from game one.
So important last year, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was good. He swung the ball up front. He's a good young kid. He's very accurate in what he delivers for us. So yeah, he'll be a crucial player for us, particularly in these early games when we're missing a couple of our players in the Aussie A setup.
Is it change of role, or do we see him opening again, or what's seeing more, bowl more?
You tell me. No, look, he's got to grow. Xavier's got to grow. We've got to give him the opportunity and the responsibility to grow. So he's in my mind, he can bowl in all areas of the game, up front, middle overs, power surge and even death. So he'll have responsibility.
Wade, what are you expecting from Chris Lynn without the sort of captaincy? Will that sort of maybe maybe free him up a bit? I don't know.
Yeah. Look, we hope so, and I think Chris is just there to score runs for us. He's obviously a leader, a senior player in our group, so we'll draw on him for bits and pieces in that batting space, particularly. But ultimately, we just want him to go out there and play with freedom and enjoy his cricket, absolutely. And if he does that, he's going to perform.
You had Mitch Strepson going to be tied up for the first a little while with the Australian setup, but Matt Kerneman's been, you as a Queensland coach, probably been almost your revelation this year. Even though you knew he was a good player, but he's certainly had a great summer so far in Shield and in One Day.
Yeah, well, he's a player that's been performing for the last couple of months, and then when you go back and look at his T20 record, it's a very good record, despite having limited opportunity. So, sign of a good player that you can bounce in and out of a side and still put good performances on the board. We will be relying heavily on him initially in these first couple of games, and then as the tournament goes on, we'll tap in and out as we need to.
Wade, you're obviously one of Queensland's greatest glovemen, a great career yourself.
It's a good start. Yep.
You're going to suck
Keep
up
talking. Yep.
For a tough question. Alex Carey, we've got Josh Inglis, who gets the nod.
Oh, look, that's a really good question. I'm not going to put it out there. They're both very good. They've both shown they can grow. So keeping in Test cricket's hard work, particularly their following tour that's going to go to Pakistan, and then I think they might have Sri Lanka after that. So they've both shown capacity to keep getting better and better. I don't think they'll make a wrong choice whichever way they go. I'd probably ask the selectors to make sure they pick the person who's the best wicketkeeper as opposed to getting sidetracked with batting statistics.
Where's Jimmy in that pecking order, mate?
Personally, I think he's very high. The Australian selectors are well aware of his performances. They acknowledge that he's going really well, and they're probably acknowledging there's another couple of blokes that are also doing well. Personally, I think Jimmy's way up there.
You're not going to lose him, are you? No inside?
No inside. Look, I'd love to lose him, and I'd hate to lose him as well. So, first and foremost, it'd be the best thing for Jimmy if he got a call up, and we'd scramble and find a second keeper, a keeper for the Heat, and a captain.
So you think in like Test cricket, keeping with the glove work is still more important than
100%. Yeah, I think they've got to pick a keeper first and foremost. The thing with all those guys they're talking about, they're all good batters. So we're splitting hairs between the batting performances. It's the keeping performance we've got to get right. And as I said, particularly with a tough tour to Pakistan or Sri Lanka coming forward.
Is the Ashes the right place to put someone in who may not have had that international experience?
If they're the best person for the job, you put them in, 100%.
Spoken on the Heat lineup. Lenny, where's he going to bat?
Linny had success at the top of the order last year, so he'll be at the top again.
You've got some options, haven't
All
you?
five.
Your middle overs, is it right? Okay.
Well, yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Getting very technical.
There's no new role?
No.
Mate, adjusted role. Who was you here for the meeting? Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
No, one other thing. That's right. So this stage you start in Canberra, bring the guys together, then potentially a trip to Perth, then back for 2 games in Queensland. You guys, I guess, approaching that start of the season as if, okay, we play what's in front of us, can't get bogged down whether it's in hubs, out of hubs, follow the protocols.
Yeah, 100%. You just got to be adaptable, and that's the big thing. We don't know what the landscape looks like. Bouncing around when we come back into Queensland or when we go to Perth or how we get to Perth, we just deal with what's in front of us, and there's rules in place for us. We're just going to follow the rules, and we'll just deal with what's in front of us. Simple.